Brainstorming explanation, it would take a little while. I mean, you know, like, yeah, we could briefly, 5 minutes each. Yeah? Is that too long? No. You sure? But I mean, with, and so is it intruding on time, or I don't know what she did. Oh, it's okay. All right, well, we can do that. Now, in a sense, yep, good. So we're in a sense starting, you know, we're brainstorming. We haven't worked all this out because we're at the frontier, right? But if you look at process 1, which is biological water.
Yes.
Okay, and it's a very simple seed. Plus we have biostimulant, and that's breaking down organic matter, and that's generating water, biochemical water, which fills, which saturates the seed.
Why don't you start that sentence again?
Okay, so what we're doing now, we're going speed dating further, and we're going through 7 processes, and we've been put on the spot. What is your design of methodology to do this? So this is jumping into the deep end of the swimming pool, and the sharks are circling, and we have to come with answers very quickly, as a minister might put the big day. So the point is that, you know, the sharks are hungry. And we're saying biological water 1, okay, the first thing you have to do in any of this analysis is what is the system?
Are there any instances where biological water, like hypothesized like this has been measured?
Right. No, we will have a reference. We will give you a reference that this is the biochemistry of respiration.
Okay.
Nobody argues with that.
Yeah, I know. You said.
But hang on, but nobody has said, hey, I can use this. Right? You understand? Because they always say, oh, that's molecular, that's too small, right? Because when they want water, they talk about the Hoover Dam in the United States. So if we had a Hoover Dam, but if they had a Hoover Dam, they'd have a Las Vegas, so they wouldn't want that anyway, right? Yeah, they'd grow a city in the middle of the desert that's dependent on water, which is stupid, right? So anyway, so this is, okay, always we start, this is the system that we're more or less working on, right? We have a seed, we have a biostimulant, that is organic matter, that is water. So straight away our design is telling us, yes, we can do that. We can say if we have seed with and with, okay, so we have seed with and without biostimulant,
Okay.
would we get water or wouldn't we get water? It's simple. If we had seed and biostimulant with and without organic matter.
No, biostimulant, see, there is one seed coating. So
Yeah.
we'll call it seed microbial coating.
Yes, seed, okay, so we've got a seed coat factor, okay,
Yes.
we've got factor A, B, C, and D is the outcome.
So
right?
C we'll call the biostimulant.
No, but what I'm saying,
First wheel,
yeah.
the first wheel you saw,
Yeah, I
the
know.
coating,
Oh no, I agree the wheel is...
so that doesn't have much of a biostimulant.
Okay, all right, okay, no, right, I understand now.
So-
Seed coating, so
Yeah.
this is a okay, so,
Biostimulant, yeah.
okay.
So
So
perhaps
in a sense,
we need not count seed coat separately for water.
yeah, okay, so what we're really saying is
Yeah.
we have
The
seed,
biostimulant,
a seed plus coat,
Correct, that's right, yes.
and then here we have biostimulant B,
Yes.
and here's organic, because I've got these 4.
Yeah.
But see, the experiment is very different. Easy, isn't it now? We've already designed it. We've got the system, we've got the experiment.
Yeah.
We sort of say, okay, we've got C plus or minus biostimulant.
Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah.
We've got C plus or minus organic matter. What happens? Right? And we can...
Are we adding organic matter separately?
No, but we can add, no,
We can add.
But we have a little, it's just sand. If we have sand without organic matter, will we get water? Because we've taken away the organic matter, we shouldn't get any water.
Right.
Because we're making a point that your water comes from that organic matter.
Walter, that organic matter is part of biostimulant.
Yeah, but in the experiment, no, I understand. See, I understand, but in the experiment,
Okay.
no, here you have basically a seed coating, but there's also organic matter in the soil that the fungi are accessing.
Oh,
because
okay. That means the inherent organic matter
in the soil. Oh yeah,
fine.
okay.
It's not the added one.
No, and this makes a difference, isn't it? Because if the soil was poor soil, it would have less water to contribute.
Fine. Okay. So we'll say existing in situ soil organic matter.
Yeah, okay. But experimentally, I mean, this is easy. We would just take sand and we would add this amount of organic matter. Then we might need C plus or minus organic matter with different complications. You know, we could say here is sugar, here is starch, here is, in a sense, cellulose, right? And each of these is more difficult to break down. Okay? And so you might find
soil instead of organic matter, type of soil.
yeah. No, so this is now just simply not type of soil, this is simply the
He
seed.
was saying type of soil, right? Type.
Instead of organic matter.
But that's different.
No.
No, we're just doing this in sand. We're just proving a process.
Oh, okay.
So this is the point. We're not doing a factorial experiment here.
Right.
We're just proving a process. So just razor down on proving the process. If we want factorial experiment, we'll go to the field and do that there, right?
Yeah. So we are saying we'll do it in sand.
We can do this in sand plus sugar plus starch. That's our organic matter. And we might sort of say, look, with that we'll get 8 grams, with that we'll get 6 grams and 3 grams there. Because this is harder and slower to break down.
Right.
Paulie, you tell me where I'm wrong, of course.
No, you're going fine.
Thank you. Okay. What? Okay. So, see what I'm saying? We've set up this thing and then we sort of said, yeah, this process works. You know, yes, this seed with this biostimulant can generate so much water, and therefore we say, yes, if we have a soil, we can say this process is valid, right? So in a sense, we have the proof of the we have designed the process, we have the data, and then we sort of already know that, okay, yeah, soils with bigger organic matter levels, we might need so much. Soils with less organic, we might need a bit more biostimulant.
Got it.
So, if part of the goal here is to be able to show the reasoning for
Yes.
the DNF,
Yeah.
then I think it would make sense to start really at the base, which is a seed with no seed coating. Because a big part of
Very good. Yes.
a big part of the problem is that they say, why are you putting all these things that
No, very interesting. You see, with the seed coating, the fungability of the seed increases.
Yes. Okay. No, I mean, agree, because before we just had the seed. And so, in a sense, what we've done is we've been A1, A2,
Right.
you know, I mean, just as we've split, you know, organic matter, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, we can have C 0.1, 0.2, right?
Okay.
And of course, then people will ask the same thing, well, does it apply to all seeds?
Yeah.
And you can just repeat it for 4 or 5 different types, legume seeds, grass seeds, etc.
This can be done in some 1:1 meter.
No, petri dishes.
Oh.
Yeah, can we go for?
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
That is much simpler, Zakir.
Oh, yeah.
You can have 100 petri dishes and do it.
You're making him work for a whole year.
I know.
This is 1 week.
He can
Walter?
be in the air conditioning.
Yeah.
Fully.
Well, removing the environmental factors would give us narrow down on what the effect of each one of those factors are, right? Now my question is, how do you, between organic matter and sugar and so on and so forth, how do you envision the length of breakdown or length of incubation period?
Right, good. Okay, so now we've got this, now we've got another variable, time. How long, how fast, right?
Yeah.
Good. So there's another variable, seed without, now we've got another time factor. So
cellulose would take time.
yeah, no, I mean, yes,
Any
with
liquid
time.
would take time.
Yeah, okay, with time, this will produce more, no question. But what I'm saying is we can keep these little experimental trials going to get more and more information. I'm just getting to the core of it because just doing this for that can confirm.
No, I think Walter, I'm clear that initially we'll do with very little number of variables.
Oh yeah,
So that gets established.
yeah.
And then we have an iteration, add more.
Right.
You will invariably find.
We'll take the existing soil, whatever
I-
it is, and then.
I can guarantee you that once you put this, you put that little information,
Yeah.
you will have 5 universities with master students coming to you. Can my student
Right.
confirm this further?
So,
Can I
so the
pay you
bells and
money?
whistles
Can
will
you
keep
pay
separately.
money for them to do it? Right?
Yeah, we'll do the core.
Now, one thing is, maybe one is lab conditions we can do something.
Yeah.
In the small field test, the situations may vary.
Sure.
I
Followed by.
Followed by field. Yeah. And that's where the master students and stuff come in.
Yeah.
The petri dishes, it's not.
No.
But, no, but the main thing, the objective.
I can, sir,
Yeah.
I have
Hang
one.
on.
Actually, here our experimental unit is sand. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In that case, if it is so, we can go for pot culture now
Pot culture also.
by taking CRD design.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
That is so easy. We can do it under controlled environment.
Make it
Okay.
up and make more variables, no question.
Yeah.
The point is what I'm saying, again, this is critical. What you're trying to do is what I call, you have these knockers and blockers. I don't know if that works in, knockers and blockers. These are the impediments. These are the people that are throwing stones at your glass house, right?
Okay.
And you need evidence
Right.
to negate that. So that's our objective.
Yeah,
primary.
absolutely. Correct.
But you're right. Once you have this,
Yeah.
yes, of course you can do glass. Yeah, or you can keep it going. Huh?
Pot culture, CRD. Yeah. CRD design, pot culture. As I said before, CRD design, pot culture.
Yes, pot culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. But little tight
Yeah.
experiments.
As per now.
Okay. Mycorrhizal breakdown of organic matter, sugar, starch, and cellulose has
Yeah.
already been established
Okay, absolutely.
in literature.
Absolutely.
Now, here what we just a question, yes?
Yeah.
Right. Here what we try to establish is the evidence factor for ZBNF.
Have evidence for.
Evidence factor for ZBNF.
Yes, yes, yes.
If ZBNF works or not.
Yeah.
The materials that are used in ZBNF is Jeevamrutam,
Yeah,
Brijamrutam, so on and so.
Yeah.
Why not do the testing on those materials? Because only when
Then the
they
biostimulant.
That is the biostimulant. Right? I'm just calling that B. That
Jeevamrutam is
the
biostimulant.
lab testing itself.
Yeah, we'll do that only. Biostimulant.
Okay,
The
what I'm
Jeevamrutam
saying.
only will be used in the lab.
Yeah.
Then what are we doing with the sugar, starch, and cellulose?
No,
that is the bells and whistles.
They're variants of organic
I
matter.
said those are all when the master students come, so we
Yeah.
will not do that.
But these are variants
We
of
want to
organic.
know whether how much water is coming from the biological sources.
But, yeah, okay, but also. I'm sorry.
We will, the sugar, starch, cellulose will be an extension part, not the core.
And just to clarify, that's the sugar, starch, and cellulose is not in place of the biostimulant.
No, I
It's on top.
understand. Fully understood
Okay,
that, yes.
okay.
It's, these are in the soil and provide you extra water. Also, correction, very important correction. These aren't mycorrhizal fungi here because you don't have a plant.
Yes.
These are sapraphytes.
Yes.
So this first step, these fungi
Yeah.
are actually just saprophytic fungi turning this carbon into CO2.
Yeah.
You see, they're not mycorrhizal.
Not mycorrhizal.
It's
Correct?
only when this thing germinates
Yes.
that we end up with then, exudates coming and the initial roots and the initial mycorrhizal fungi, because then we now go to stage 2, which is our uptake of water from films, and now we're talking about mycorrhizae because they have that unique membrane absorption capacity, right? So, again, now we're speed thinking again. Water. Okay, this is now uptake from films, from soil films. Okay, And that's in a sense part 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now we have again proven scientific evidence that these mycorrhizae take up water from soil films at 5 times wilting point, right? So again, we can very quickly sort of do a little experiment again on sand, where we have, okay, sand, and we have different wilting point water levels, right? We have it at sort of above wilting point, okay, plus at wilting point 0, and then progressively different levels of minuses, right? Okay, increasing stress of water. And then we can simply sort of say, okay, let us now put mycorrhizal plants into that situation and see how much water they can take up. That's simple, isn't it?
Yes.
That means once the seedlings have come.
Yeah, no, we just have plants at this different water levels. So we have little pots or little pots or little trials of plants, sand at different water tensions, and then we'll just put in a little mycorrhizal seedling in each of them, and we'll see which one, when they die, which ones die, which ones can take water, and which ones can't.
Here we should take Sharad's suggestion of different types of soil, because different types of soil.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
No, absolutely. So we start off again with the sand,
Right.
at different tensions, and then we say, okay, let's now basically have that with a clay and a red earth
Yes.
or whatever, right?
But Walter, how do you get, or you will have to have seedlings
Yeah.
of the same age?
Yeah,
which
yeah.
have put out mycorrhizae.
Easy. So we have basically a tray
Right.
with inoculum of mycorrhizae, right? Soil with mycorrhizae. We put seed in it. We'll have a little seedling coming up with roots, and they'll all get infected.
Right.
And so basically we now take these little seedlings out, and we might plant 3 seedlings
Right.
per pot from here. So they've all got the
how
same
do we
root,
know
they've
which
all
is
got
the-
mycorrhizae.
But how do you know which is an optimal?
Oh no, we don't.
Optimal inoculation.
But if we say this one grows well, and this one doesn't grow well, right? And then we could look at, after we look at the roots,
Okay.
and we say, yes, they've been able to establish mycorrhizae, and we know how much mycorrhizae per cc of soil,
Oh.
fungal length per cc, you know, there's measure, I mean, like, yeah, we're not giving you all the details.
Right.
Okay, we're sort of going so fast. But what I'm saying is, yes, we can do simple trials
Okay.
to look at number 2, right? Because it's proven in the literature, and we're just simply saying, yes, if there's a question 2, here is the evidence, these mycorrhizae. We've got another thing is, of course, here are different mycorrhizae. So there's mycorrhizae A, and then we might, okay, so there's A, and then we've got to try with B, C, D, E, right? Now, are different mycorrhizae effective?
Right.
But again, it's a simple system, and we're just trying variables, because all we're trying to do is prove number 2, aren't we?
Yeah.
Number 3. Okay? Next one, we've got 3, which is the
Condensation.
shoot coming up. So basically number 3, we've got a shoot. And this is really simple, isn't it? Because basically now we're not asking questions about the soil. We simply have shoots of different species, okay, and different leaf areas. And if you like, we can put them in a humidity chamber at different temperatures and see what level of water do they harvest. Okay?
Okay.
And we can also here use our blotting paper. More or less, hanging the blotting paper in these little canopies to see, what level of water are the blotting paper harvesting. I mean,
But really, you could just weigh it before. and
Yeah,
after.
we
You
could
don't
weigh
need to
up,
weigh it.
yeah. But what I'm saying, we can weigh the seedling, but then the answer is the seedling taking it from the soil or where? Or then we can say, okay, here it is taken from the air because this is to the blotting paper difference,
But I'm
right?
saying if you didn't add water into the pot.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And you had, but you had moisture in the air, if the pot was, you waited before
Yeah.
and after, you would know which ones
Sure,
had taken.
sure. No, there's no question. You'd have a problem, you would have had to have some water, otherwise the plant would be dead.
Right, but so you would have waited.
Yeah, no,
before
good,
to allow-
I'm good, okay.
Walter, I'm just thinking in the experiment number 2,
Yeah,
instead of artificially adding mycorrhizae,
yeah,
we take a bed
yeah.
which is prepared as per JBNF standards,
Yes,
and then at a certain age,
yeah,
when we know that mycorrhizae is there,
yeah.
then those are the ones which we
Yeah.
take up. Will
Yeah.
that make?
Yeah, no, and in a
Then-
sense, that's what we're saying. See, A would be, we wouldn't really be inoculating a microbiome, we would say take soil from a healthy
Yeah.
plant with its own mycorrhizae,
Yeah.
and we're putting those seedlings in there,
Yeah.
and we will be measuring the mycorrhizae as a result.
Right.
But then somebody might say, remember we talked about Pisolithus tinctorius that we would take to Mars?
Yeah.
That's very
Right.
good at this.
Yeah.
And then we could say, okay, let's try Pisolithus, there's P, okay?
Yeah.
And
Is it better?
do you understand? Because some academic will tell you, I have a superbug that can do better,
Right.
and you would say, well, mine's better than yours, right? Which is
We'll
always,
use that for the Anantapur area.
Yeah.
The P.
yeah,
And similarly the shoot also.
yeah,
Again
yeah.
from a
Oh yeah,
JBNF bed.
yeah.
And then see how much water is being harvested.
And here we would go to Dee Per's house, and she would give us one of these plants, which is a cactus from Arizona, because you would again be looking how much live weight, water
Right.
takes up. It takes up.
But tell me one thing, in a humidity chamber,
Yeah,
see our assumption is
Yeah.
that the shoot transpiration,
Yeah.
from the shoot
yeah.
is actually creating a microclimate there.
Yeah, at this stage, we're
No.
simply saying, okay, the model here
Because
is-
we don't know, do we know how much dew
No.
is forming in a hot summer?
No, well, see, we're making it too complicated. At this
Okay.
stage, we just simply have a shoot, and we have a humid airflow, and how much of that humid
okay.
airflow
So the
It's
can
in
pass.
a chamber, yeah.
Sorry?
It's in a chamber.
Yeah, you just have an airflow, just water moving across a chamber, and then you say how much. It's a bit like what Dee did with the lysimeter, the soils, how much
Right.
infiltration, and you still have different plants. They can all be mixed up, because we'll be then weighing each plant, and we'll say, okay, here's.
No, my point was,
Yeah.
let us say through industrial agriculture
Yeah.
also you had a green shoot
Yeah,
and the JBNF
Yeah.
pre-monsoon dry soil
Yeah.
green shoot.
yeah.
Is there any difference in the way water is
Yeah, look.
forming or not forming?
Yeah. But yes, there is, but you are creating a more sophisticated experiment because you're asking that because it's transpiring, it's cooling,
Correct,
therefore it's a
correct.
better condensation
Yeah,
surface.
right. That's right.
Okay, and that's
So
what
I thought that was the logic.
No, it is, but that's a bit like poorly making it, more complex. Well, no, it's
So
good.
this is enough for
This
to
is
establish.
Right.
well, absolutely. This is enough for three.
Okay, fine.
But no. Then we can say, look, if we have hot air, how much does it harvest? If we have cooler air, it'll harvest more because it's easier to dew point.
Fine.
Okay. If we have plants that are basically transpired actively in a cooler,
Right.
it'll harvest more. If we have air of 50,000 parts per million, it'll harvest more compared to 20,000. And we'll be able to get all that data. You see? But the point is, you can prove number 3, right? And this is.
And from, yeah, go ahead.
Sir?
No, I was just gonna say that from there, that's actually a really interesting because when you take that out to the field,
Right.
you're gonna know that if this region tends to be this temperature and this humidity,
Right.
these are the kinds of leaf structures and plants that will succeed the most. So you're gonna have some if you trust a lot of those
Right.
species that might be grown here, you'll
Right.
have a lot of information that's instantly useful. So.
And then instantly, absolutely, when we're talking about different species, see, one of the things I'd be asking your prosopis
Right.
Why is it always green?
Ah, right.
You tell me, why is it always
Always
green?
green.
You see, and so we could then basically do that, and the same as cucurbits, right? We have cucurbits, paddy melons growing all in the desert, you know, at 3 inches of rainfall a year, and you've got carpets of pumpkins. No, they're not pumpkins, they're bitter, they're camel horns. But there's big as pumpkins all over the desert. You see?
And this is where, this is
So
the
therefore,
link.
this will also help us in the species selection.
Yes.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, this is the laboratory version of read your weeds, right? Read your weeds. So like what Walter just said, why is the chrysoprase always green?
Right.
What is it about that plant that is making it green? And therefore, if you understand that, you'll know what other plants that are actually edible are going to be something that you want to plant.
Now, number 4, you don't really need to do experiments on, because you say, if I've got soil cores, and if I can show, yes, because of this mycorrhizal plant, I've got so many roots and mycorrhizae at depth, and this is where there's more water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll just say the root depth and mycorrhizae depth.
Precisely. And all you have to do there is you say, yes, if I can establish that I've got more roots at depth, by definition, I'm accessing bigger quantities of water, and therefore some of that 10,000 tons of water that is clear evidence, yes, could have come from 4, but it wouldn't have come in the industrial plant.
Right.
Right.
Yes. So 4 is very important actually.
4 is very, oh yeah, they're all important, but the point is that we don't need to do any big experiments, because we can do, well, we can do that just by measuring the roots at depth, right?
So root depth and then the presence of mycorrhizae.
Yeah. So we would go to the field, where you were, and we would simply take a soil core to depth, to 2 meters depth, and we would simply sort of take soil sections down there to see what sort of roots are in at different depths, and then we would take the soil subsamples, and we would look, as Phil, our friend, Regenerate Earth, Phil Lee, who does the microscope, so he would then say how many fungi in the soil at different depths.
Oh, fantastic.
You see? So it's just a matter of measurement. So we
And
can
that's also not just depth. I mean, you're talking depth, but there's also, like we've seen in the photos of the Zedgena plants.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also how many.
Yeah, and extent, and
How many roots.
Yeah. But in a sense, from the pre-monsoon water, it is this water, the depth that is really the key thing. But the point is that, again, we're just, see, this is the trouble with these experiments. Everyone we can design to be a 10-year, you know. We can put an academy on each one of them.
Instant results.
We can get an academy on each one of them, but the point is we want just it's all about negating the knockers, right? Okay, number 5, again, very simple, because now we're talking evaporation control.
Yes.
Okay, no trouble. So literature, Paulie's got all the literature. Here is a canopy protecting the surface that protects the soil from evaporation, right?
So no particular experiment required for this. There are some studies.
There are ETO studies that have been established by FAO. There's also NPP0, which is also net primary production capacity of all throughout the world. That's also been established by FAO.
Okay.
So if you use those two and look at the temperature range in a particular area, we can come to the conclusion how much water is evaporating from that particular area.
So what is the reduction in water evaporation? So therefore, great availability of water to the
If we do want to do an experiment, we can do a basin experiment over here.
Okay, but this is where we're using the blotting paper. Now we have a pre-monsoon cover crop. You know, some of it is this, others, you know, different shapes and leaves. So we have a pre-monsoon cover crop, and because basically we say, look, how much evaporation control, and we do this with blotting paper, right? But this time we reverse it. We hang a piece of blotting paper that we have saturated, you know, dipped in water.
Okay.
And then we hang it there, and we come back in 2 hours later, or half an hour, we can do a time series, and you see how much of this water's gone compared to a piece of blotting paper hanging on a wire coat hanger on a bare hot red soil.
Oh, okay.
You see? And it's like hanging out your washing. You know exactly which is different, isn't it? You know,
This is
this
for
one,
the-
the canopy is going to
For the
keep
evaporation losses, this is for,
evaporation losses.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
is it for?
No, we're
That's
five.
five. Five.
My apologies, we're five now.
Yeah.
Okay, so evaporation control, so we hang wet blotting paper, leave it there for unit time,
Right.
compare it to the other site, okay, and that's no issue because again, we can get that hard data 5, okay, a simple evaporation control, the references are there, all of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
references,
Yeah.
we can do that statically.
We can back that up if we can get, I don't know, Zaki, do we have GIS maps available for this area? GIS maps. So it's very simple. If you give them the coordinates, right? If you give the GIS department coordinates, they give us a map, right? And it costs like 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees. So what we can do is with the GIS map, we can calculate NDVI, naturally differentiated vegetarian index, right? And if we calculate that, that tells us how much leaf area is there and how much metabolism actually is happening in the process. With this data, the field trial data, and we compare that, right, if it correlates and if it goes together, then we have a 100% immutable evidence that no scientist would ever refuse.
No.
So it's GIS data
GIS
plus the
data.
field trial data.
Yeah. We could do it with blotting paper, or we could launch a satellite and do it from space.
No, we don't have those.
We don't need to launch a satellite because we can borrow NASA.
We don't have the budget ball, so we don't know what you
No, but we have a very, very supreme fixer, and Sophie, thank you very much, who will organise us into NASA to get the data out of NASA in no time.
No, we can't Google.
Right, but okay, 5 is no problem. 6, exactly the same, no problem. We have vegetation, we'll do 6 over here.
Right.
And we have vegetation, we know that that's transpiring, right? Because it has got this water, because it is a green pre-monsoon cover crop. So all we do is we can measure how much transpiration, and we can measure, as Didi has shown us, the temperature.
Temperature.
So this is basically, you know, 28 degrees centigrade, the red soil, 55 degrees centigrade, right? Okay, so once we have this temperature difference, we know, yes, we have a cooling effect, but we also have that re-radiation effect,
Right.
you know,
Right.
heating,
Right.
drying, and this is physics, right? So again, 6 we can cover.
Right.
Now, we come to number 7, which is
VG Vision.
VJ Vision.
The NFS.
Right.
Poly.
Polly, come on. Okay, so we got 7, and the question is, you see, okay, is this humid air from this cover crop? We know it's a more humid air. Is it being sucked into the soil? And of course, is it then condensing and what have you on that soil, right? And again, easy to do because what we do now is, again, we can put pieces of blotting paper into the soil, okay, and we can see how much is, pull that, we're going to leave it there for an hour, pull it out, and if it's a dry soil, I mean if it's wet soil, it will just absorb water, right? But if it's a dry soil, it will actually become heavier,
Right.
and then we can calculate, okay, how much is that from the air, and how much is it from the surrounding soil?
Come again.
How would you know that?
How would you know the difference? Well, you would basically say, if I have a soil without plants,
Yes.
right, which isn't transpiring, without this humid layer on top, the same soil, but it's basically soil without plants,
Yeah.
you put some tissue, you put a blotting paper in that, and that would measure the residual soil moisture.
Right.
But in this treatment with the plants, you're assuming that you've got a higher humidity here, which you have, and then the question is some of that humidity flowing into the soil? So you'd be saying soil A with plants, soil A without plants, is it sort of creating more soil moisture?
My father designing it, I would do something that was more like with a microscope that is looking actively and watching to see is there any condensation happening in a more controlled
yeah, but
condition. Because it seems to me like that's going to be pretty refutable, that they'll just say, well, it's wicking it up, it's, you know.
Yeah, even if it's wicking up, the fact is there's more it's a water budget in the soil, it's more active.
But it's not telling you that it's coming down from the air.
Okay.
Can we not do the soil moisture testing at different levels? Will that
yeah, but it won't answer your question. Is air coming, is moist air coming down?
Yeah.
Look, it's not going to go down to a meter.
No.
You're just talking in the top.
Wherever the
15
porosity,
centimeters.
that's
It is a little bit delicate, difficult, because to put this blotting paper in, or any bait in there,
Right, that
you're going to disturb the soil.
How about a radioisotope?
Yeah, see, why don't you get yourself a nuclear power station so you make some isotopes so Paulie can play with those?
No, but we could get somebody like Gerald Pollack, who has a lab all set up, who's interested in that.
No, I agree, but, okay.
Even if this gives some rough result, we'll live with it.
Okay, I have another, we've used another thing, so moisture science does. We can just put a little tube in there, a little straw, right? It's just a little straw that goes down. And basically you have two straws, one inside the other. And so inside you can have sort of basically not blotting paper, but you just have chalk, just say, right?
What do you have?
Chalk, just powdered chalk, or something that absorbs water, right?
Okay.
Calcium, they're just a chemical.
Calcium powder or something like that.
And when the tubes are twisted one way, it's all sealed, isn't it? Okay, so you have two straws, and the outer straw has holes there, and the inner straws has holes there. And the inside here is all filled with things that absorb water, right?
Right.
And there's holes, there's little ports at different depth.
Right.
And you push that into the soil.
Right.
And then you twist the two straws. So now you have the holes lining up. Okay, so the holes are lining up.
Right.
And now air from the soil can get absorbed by the inside.
Okay.
Okay? Do you understand? It's gone down in, and now because you've twisted this that way, and that way also. Yeah, but do you understand? You've lined those holes up.
To align the pores.
Line the pores up. Now it can suck in water, and so you say, look, I'll leave it there open for half an hour or an hour. Then I twist it closed again. Pull the straw out and measure how much water in different depth. Because I will have had water coming in at different depth, sucking up there, and then you can say, right, how much water has been soaked up through this. Okay, you've got a pore of 1 centimetre at the side of the straw, some centimetre squared, and you know how much water is absorbed.
Sorry. Did I interrupt you?
Sorry?
I didn't mean to interrupt you. If you had to finish. I just wanted to ask, what would be the difference if I use a soil probe instead of this? What would be the difference?
But the soil probe is, but no, what you're doing, you want a time water harvesting measure. So if you take a soil probe, you've got an in situ soil moisture measurement, but you haven't got how much water is being harvested from the air in an hour at different depth. This is a rate measure because you've got time involved.
The moisture rate would
Can we do this? Can we have a number of these probes?
Yeah.
1 hour, 2 hours.
Oh yeah. Oh good. Yeah.
But why not do it inside of like a humidity chamber so that you know where the water is coming from?
Look, we haven't talked. Yes, then you say, where do I do
But the
this?
knockers and walkers aren't going to go for it if it's in a regular soil. They're going to say, who knows that it's coming
Oh,
from the air?
no, sorry,
Yeah.
you're right. This is in an area where we've got the control, here we are, we're putting it into this situation, right?
Yeah,
Because we've got that measure, we've got this measure, we've got a soil probe as well. So you can put it, as we say, it's a pot, here we are, we've got pots with these different pots that go into that cloud chamber or that moisture flow thing, and in that pot, we've got a sand or a clay or whatever, and then you can have different soils, and all we've got is a little technique to measure at different depth how much. But the point is too that this is your thing. This is water from the air largely, right? Because it's not groundwater that is available. It's only the water at that level from the soil
So we are
air
putting
around.
only where the soil porosity takes us.
Yeah.
10 centimeters, 15
Yeah.
centimeters,
Yeah.
20.
Yeah. Yeah.
And basically, if you have water vapor in the chamber,
Yeah.
and you don't have any other condensation surface there, and the water ends up in the soil, that is, I would think,
Oh.
is basically proving BJ's point.
Come again?
Yeah.
So if you have water vapor in the chamber, no actual water, right? No actual condensate.
Yeah.
And you have nothing in the chamber other than soil.
Right.
And the soil ends up with water in it,
Yeah.
then the soil is condensing the water.
Yeah, but I think the vision was a little bit different because it wasn't that the soil would passively absorb air. The fact is that the plants are transpiring water, therefore they're taking water out and sucking air into the soil, because they're taking water, transpiring, and pulling air into the moist air into the soil, which then can get condensed.
My assumption was that due to the root exudates, the biostimulants, you are developing the microaggregates and aggregates, and increasing the soil porosity. So if the soil is more porous, there is better rootability. And along with rootability, when it's not raining,
right?
So the air is also going.
Okay.
That was my.
Okay.
What I call.
See, the vision is getting wider. No, that's okay. But good. If you are doing this as a time series, as that soil develops and as aggregates develop, that's valid.
Right.
But then as the aggregates develop, you're also getting more fungal activity that makes the aggregates.
Right, yes.
Which is more biological water, more of one.
Okay.
So, do you understand? So you're getting now more water, not just due to air inflow, but also due to biological water formation, because you've got more biological activity in the aggregates. That's what creates aggregates.
Right, yes.
And in making those aggregates, they're breaking down organic matter, which is creating water, which helps create the anaerobic partial pressure in the aggregates.
Okay.
So the aggregates are actually also creating water.
Great.
But that's not aerial water, that's biological. So you'll have a mixture of 1 and 7 giving you that increase, right?
Walter, the first day you were here, you drew a diagram where you're talking about how to harvest water, and you drew a tube and then you made it larger.
Yeah.
So is that?
Well, okay, this is simple condensation.
What I'm saying, could that be happening in a soil core also? Right?
Sure, well, no, probably not, because probably the physics of those micropores, the difference in pressure, certainly.
Like an earthworm, how about an earthworm?
So look, certainly you've got all these pores, and certainly the air flowing here is under slightly higher pressure, then it gets into void, this is slightly lower pressure, but the difference in pressure in this scale, well, I don't know.
What about
But Walter, let us say we rest our case by saying it's a combination of 1 and 7.
Oh yeah. In a time series you would. With the aggregate, you get your experiment going, you say like with time this gets better and better.
Right.
And then that will be a combination of 1 and 7, no troubles.
Right.
And because you've already measured 1,
Right.
you could do a pretty good calculation of how much would be 7.
No, because 1 will also change.
No, I know.
More of the
But what I'm saying-
microbial activity.
Okay, but you would know, you could work out how much carbon has been used to make that aggregate. Therefore, that much water must have been formed. But if you've got twice that much water, you can say, hey, that comes. But look, no. Okay, good. Well, you're tricking me now. The point is, we can substantiate,
sure.
we can give you a soil micro budget at an accuracy and a sophistication that nobody has put into the evidence literature previously, right? Do you understand? I mean, just going through each, I mean, even breaking down these 7 processes in the hydrology of arid landscapes, nobody's ever got that.
So I think what I'm trying to say is, the one when we started was the one which was sticking to the seed.
Yes.
So after some time that would have gone.
Yeah.
But what will happen is, with the increased mycorrhizal activity, there will be more of aggregates forming. So the mycorrhizae also will breathe, so they'll also be producing water, they'll also die. And
yes, the mycorrhizas will be using carbon that will produce water all the time.
So that water is anyway, so it is, actually you have to call it 8. Because
okay, yes, you're right.
One is the initial startup, and now the roots have established. So the aggregates breathing of these microbes is producing water.
Absolutely. So there is an 8,
and the folly still remains.
Yes.
So
no, 8 is absolutely right. But the point is, you see, we're talking about 10,000 tons of extra water upstairs in the canopy. And you see, we're talking 6 grams of extra water per gram of organic matter.
That's not much.
So it's not much. So it's enough to get the seed germinated. It's enough to keep the fungi alive. But if you're now looking at how much water...
So then we'll say 8 is 0, it's only 7.
No, 8, no, we put 8 in because it's very... We put 8 in because it's part of the
8
model.
was the,
extra water in the organic matter.
Yeah, because
Well,
of
then we have to add 9, which is the extra water from the sponge that's actually the pore space. So we're going to put 8.
Yeah, no, but this is, we're talking about pre-monsoon, before the sponge is filled with rain. But certainly we can talk about 8 because this is the fungal water generated. But what I'm saying, the quantity of that compared to what's used to grow this crop, you know, it's survival water. See, 1 and 2 are real survival water, establishment water, rather than transpiration water.
So basically your assumption is that 3, that is the dew condensation, should be around 80% of the...
My guess is, I'm guessing, scientists don't guess, but my guess is that basically, 3 ends up with 60 to 70%, and 2 provides 20% roughly, and then the combination of the others will give you the other 10%.
Okay. Because the most critical one is the startup water, number 1.
But exactly, but without 1,
I know, rest will not happen.
and that's why that sequence is so important. Without that biostimulant, saprophytic sequence, you haven't got a chance. And that's what experiment number 1 will do, because if you don't have that organic matter to generate the 6 strands, I don't think it can get started.
It may be a small quantity, but then that is the critical.
Because that's the catalyst, the drop of oil on the wheel, we talked about. That's a raised drop of oil on the bearing that makes the whole wheel go around.
Okay, great.
Can I ask
Sorry.
And just on that point, I would say the first experiment that we do, is to test concentration, temperature, and humidity over time on the organic matter or in any things that we use, the Jivamritam, because it's the startup water that will help the shoot as well as the root to exude.
So say that again, Paul. The first.
Well, you have to characterize the system. You know, you're saying here is the system, you know, pre-monsoon water harvesting, and so we've got to define the system. As Paulie said, here is the humidity, the temperature, the depth, the physical conditions.
As close as possible to the field conditions, because
because that sets the context, the field context of the parameter. It really marks out your playpen, right?
Yes.
That is the most difficult kind of condition because hot summer.
No, let's
So because we're doing this in a laboratory.
Yeah.
We could, if you have closed system boxes, glass boxes, right? We could tweak the temperature and humidity in each one of those boxes.
I
we
see.
can test the different level of
I know that,
concentration over a period
which
of time.
will be similar to what is happening, what is at the ground level.
Yes.
Right.
And so some farmers might use 400 kilos, some 800, some 900 in the month of April when it's 40 degrees with 20% humidity.
Yeah.
And if you can mimic and see how fast does the breakdown happen, then we have very, very good evidence-based decision-making tool. Then we can say, if you're going to plant, if you're going to do PMDS in May, then this is the concentration that you need to apply, and these are the plants that you need to do. And then you will have your germination by 11th day or 8th day. Yes?
No, I agree entirely. I mean, like, you always have to.
So we can, if we do all this in maybe January, February, even our recommendations to the farmers can be much better.
Yes. Yes.
So I would also recommend.
Much more precise. Much more precise.
So what I understood is that germination only happened in a small percent. Germination pre-rain only happened in a small percent of those trials.
Yes.
I would take those trials and look at them really carefully.
Yes, that's right.
Like, is it true? Like, make sure was there rain or no rain? You know, like really test it. And see, and then see like what were they doing?
My conclusion now is that because we did broadcasting of the Ganajivamritam and we did the broadcasting, we first did the broadcasting of Ganajivamritam. It was 400 kgs over 1 acre, right? After that was done, in many cases they also put soil on top of that. And then we broadcast the seed. So now I don't know whether the seed and the Ganajivamritam coincide or not. Right. So this time we are going to pack the seed with the Ganajivamritam. So it's a package. So we are ensuring I don't have to use 400 kilograms. I can use much less, but highly targeted because it's with the seed. Each seed will be discussed. 5 times the weight of the seed will have Ganajivamritam. We'll do experiment. We'll do 10 times the weight of the seed. Even then, we won't require 400 kilograms of it.
Right.
I also very strongly recommend that you take one plot, just say the plot we were standing in, when we went there the first day, that is your reference plot. You don't get 11,000 other ones with all different combinations, do you understand? But for this scientific thing to say, look, here is the evidence, 2 meter high thing, this is what was done here, we are going to verify it on this site. Yes, we've done it 11,000 times elsewhere. But don't get confused, don't get sidetracked by everybody asking questions, what did you do on the 10,000 other ones? And did you do one here? Because you understand they're all defocusing of this core, what went on, right? So I think you've got the best reference site. That's what you're putting your analysis on, and you're saying on this reference site, this is how we understand it. Because on other reference sites, there may be different combinations and different rates and all that.
So you suggest that we do the experiment on that site?
No. You just always refer back to
the same
as Paulie said. Here is the evidence.
Sure.
This
We'll
site,
have the data.
That is your reference site. That's what you're going. That's your case.
Here's 2 things. One, it's at the same point I'm trying to make and answer also your question. So you said we do the field trials, right? So basically, what you recommended before was a field trial.
No.
We look at different plots and see.
I'm saying that of the ones that have already happened, there's only a small percent that germinated before
so
the rain.
looking for evidence there is field trials, right? So you go, for example, we already have 6 foot, 2 meter plantation, 15,000 plants, etc. So now we're trying to figure out why that's happening, right? In order to do that, in order to understand why that's happening, if we do the trials down there, we measure whatever we measure. It's kind of looking for something in darkness. It's a hard time. when we do all these trials, once we establish concentration, temperature, humidity, and then we establish the breakdown pattern, then we have a baseline. All of these experiments that he's outlining, these are baselines. Once we establish the baseline, whether it's 2 meter, 15,000 tons, or whether germination is happening or whatever the field conditions are, we would have that reference, go back and say, this is why it didn't work. Because you didn't use the right amount of concentration, because the temperature was wrong, because the humidity was that. So these experiments need to be conducted first, before we try and figure out what's on the ground.
I'm just talking about spending an afternoon looking at
Oh,
those. I'm not talking about a big study.
Yeah.
I'm simply saying,
No,
that,
I agree
like
with
for
you.
example, the plot that you're suggesting they use,
Yeah.
is that one where germination happened before the rain?
Oh yeah. Because it germinated in May and the rain didn't come until the end of July.
But was there any rain or no rain
But
at all?
no, it doesn't, I mean,
See,
yes, there may
But
be
it does
2
mean it does.
millimeters, hang on, there may be
Yeah.
2 millimeters, but
Uh.
nothing enough
Yeah.
to germinate and sustain those seeds for those 6 weeks,
Right.
from May to end.
We'll tell you that, Didi,
Yeah,
we'll do that
okay.
at
But the
analysis.
reason I'm saying that is that if the hypothesis is that it was using biological water, and there was some little bit of rain, then that may or may not.
Sure.
Do you see what I'm
But
saying?
If it
Yeah,
hasn't
I
rained, you're
understand.
excluding that option, you're excluding that possibility.
What we have observed, majority of the cases,
Yeah.
majority of the cases, the seeds germinated with very little rainfall, but there had to be some rain.
Yeah.
But we had very few cases where germination happened without rainfall.
Yeah.
So that I'm hypothesizing that we can address that question by packing the seed and the biostimulant together.
Yeah,
Which
no,
we
I
didn't
agree.
do last time.
I agree with. I think that's the right approach. I'm just
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to tease out
Yeah.
this thing about biological water and whether.
My other question will be that once we do these measurements, we like to answer how the 15,000 tons came.
Oh no, yeah, but that's okay, because, no,
So
all right.
we'll have to develop a mechanism
No.
by
Yeah.
saying that, okay, this harvested this much.
No, this is what we talked about, this is what your blotting paper will do. Because it will say that 1 square centimetre
Right.
of blotting paper, you know,
Yeah.
as if it was a leaf-bed surface,
Right.
can harvest that much in a night.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Then
this
you
will
say-
have to do over a period of time.
Well, a season may
Yeah.
vary over the season, it doesn't matter, you can
Yeah.
say so much, and then you say that canopy,
Right.
2 metre high canopy, has so many tens of thousands of square metre of leaf.
Right.
Yeah, it has 80,000 square metre of leaf. And you know 1 centimetre
Right,
harvests
right.
so much, so 80,000 square metres harvests this much a night. Then you multiply that by 60 nights,
Exactly. Right.
and then you say how many
Yeah.
tens, is that 8,000 tons of water,
Right. Okay.
right?
That's why your calculation, one gram of biomass needs 1 liter of water.
No, this will be
That's
just
the
like,
filter water.
now we'll be talking about water 3.
So
But-
water your guess is 60%.
No, I'm not guessing, I'm
No,
saying we
water
have to
2.
measure.
No. 2 is 20%. 2 soil film.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the importance.
Just the ratio of
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
importance, what your
Okay,
guess was.
yes, okay, 2 was 20%, 3 was 60%,
Yes.
and 20, the other 20% would be
Yeah,
a
combination
combination of the others. My estimate,
Right.
but let's not call it an estimate, that's a bad
Yeah,
scientific
yeah.
word. The proposition that we're testing
Yeah, I know.
is whether this ratio is about right.
Thank you.
And 1 will be 1%, 2%. The biological.
Oh, yeah, one may only be 1%, but 1%.
But without that 1%, you won't get the 99%.
It's a bit like when you were conceived, you
Yeah.
only needed 2 cells, right? Those 2 cells were important.
Yeah, that important. Yeah,
Where-
yeah.
Where are we measuring the soil moisture content at different depths?
Where are we measuring them?
Where is that
Yes, that is
Street
part of your, right from the beginning, your system's definition, right? Temperature, humidity, the fact that this soil in the middle of the dry season is down to 3% moisture content to this depth, right? Because we're doing a water budget and we've got to say, look, this is the water in the soil at the start.
Right. Yeah.
And this is what the crop is used, therefore, by definition, can I also, by definition, where is this other water coming from?
See, I'm troubled by the fact, yes, 100% true, we need to establish that as well. I'm also troubled by the fact that the soil moisture content at different depths at a field would vary dramatically because there's a lot more surface contact area.
No, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
And water would saturate, obviously, from one
Okay, but we have got this factor of 4, you see, because we're saying, okay, when we say, look, here's the first metre of soil, it's impossible to grow a crop then in the first metre, but only when we get then roots down and mycorrhizae down to 4, and
Right, in soil.
yeah, and so and what we're saying, it wasn't just 2, it was 2 and 4 that was contributing that 20%, right?
Oh.
2 and 4. So then basically, yes, once it's at that depth, it's actually able to get enough of that soil water. But we can definitely establish in the field that the top metre of soil was dry to 3% moisture content or whatever. That's part of your system's definition. Because we're going to start off with a budget to say, look, there's no water. This is all the water you've said.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
What happens when there is rainfall
Yeah.
in this,
Okay.
the pre-monsoon sowing crop?
When there's
It may happen after 5 days,
yeah.
after 30
No.
days.
Okay.
How does that change
Right.
this dynamic?
This is Steve's point. When there's rainfall, we
Right.
have 9, right? We had 8. We had 8.
8, 9.
Then we have 9
Right.
because then we have rain,
Yeah.
and then we have how much sponge. Then we measure how much runoff or how much sponge. But in the cover crop, there probably won't be any runoff. It will be sponge.
That's right.
And then all of that rain will be 9 into the in-store reservoir, and if there is rain, yes, that contributes to the 10,000 tonnes.
No, my point was different. I was saying that the measurement is different. I'm saying a rainfall event.
Yeah.
What does it do to these kind of processes? Yeah.
Well,
Does it accelerate? Does it? I'm.
yeah. Well, look, it does all of them. Yes,
Right.
it accelerates all of them because a rainfall event gives the plant more growth. Growth spurt.
Yeah.
You get more exudates.
Right.
More exudates give more fungal activity,
Right.
and then all these processes stimulate.
Right.
Except if there's a lot of rain, then you're basically going to say, right, now there's going to be less oxygen in the air because in the soil because there's more water filling the thing.
Okay.
So for a while you might get less oxidation. But yeah,
Okay.
the whole
Fine.
dynamics is adjusted.
Actually, that's a really interesting twist on this because, and this is part of why I think the pre-monsoon dry soil may be working, is that sometimes a monsoon is not actually a very good condition for germinating, right? It could wash away the seeds. It could fill up the soil profile so that there's anaerobic. So if you can do pre-monsoon dry sowing and there's, and there's a little bit of rain a couple of times before,
extremely
the
beneficial.
seeds are already
Yeah.
have their
growing.
hands and they're holding on there. So,
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, what was number 8?
8 was increased biological activity because of microaggregates and aggregates.
Yeah, okay, so that was part of this. Yeah, okay, so you see, this will make a note of that.
I have extra word because of the organic matter.
We give rhizome from 10% rhizome from.
That also, yeah. That's also adding to 8. So what we are doing is in the absence of rainfall, every week we spray the liquid bionutrient. So that's one of the package of practices.
So that's
solid,
adding a little water.
yeah, very little water.
Yeah.
But that is so both to the soil and sometimes as a foliar spray.
200 liters per acre.
That's nothing
200 liters per acre.
per acre. It doesn't.
Insignificant.
Doesn't even
Insignificant.
register. Yeah.
Completely insignificant.
It's not even 1 gram of. No, how much? 100 kilograms? 200, yeah.
1 gram per acre.
Ah.
But look, overall, I mean, the question is, yeah, here is a water budget, but not just numbers, it's on a process level, right? It's on an activity process level. And what we're really doing, we're now getting at what are the driving processes. And quite frankly, if we can focus on those, we don't have to measure 90% of all the other data, right? And quite frankly, it doesn't matter what species, it'll matter of course what species of plants, but we're not, I mean, at the moment we collect lots of data describing a very complex system, but really what we're focusing on is, right, what are the key issues, questions, how do we answer them, and in answering them, we really get a process understanding that is way ahead, to my knowledge, of anyone globally understanding dry, arid zone water dynamics. Okay? And I think, so for all that, I mean, all your work and stuff, and the 50,000 farmers, very important. The other important thing is, look, even before we've done all this work, all we have to do is be thinking about it this way. You don't have to prove it all. But even when we're thinking about it, we already know, as we said before, hey, remember we had it? Here we are. Look, as long as 1, 2, 3, right? As long as we have the right binoculum, we've got the good soil contact, we've got the good mulch, then really for the 50,000 farmers, we really have some really good, powerful ideas, right?
So, other than the leaves, the mulch also attracts water?
Okay, does the mulch attract water?
Because pollen.
Yeah, no.
1 kg of mulch attracts 4 liters of water.
Yes, okay. No, I mean, look, see, thank you. See that? Okay. Okay. Yes, it does, especially if we have hygroscopic mulch, mulch which has got a lot of solute concentration and stuff.
The very strong.
Yeah, very strong mulch. It can attract water. Yep, no, definitely. Now he says 1 kilogram, 1 liter, 4
Essentially,
liters.
he says mulch
Yeah.
attracts around 4 liters of water in the night. That's what he says.
Yeah. And that was
This is
meter.
crop residue.
Crop residue. Okay. So now, right, if we've got a significant mulch already, like there we had groundnut shells. Okay, that's one of Paulie's ones. We have to set up in the beginning of the system, Paulie. How much mulch are we starting with? What is the water absorption rate of that mulch? Per meter to start with. Yeah.
But does that water
That's
in
the-
the mulch, does it transfer to irrigation for the plant?
Yeah.
We'll have to assume
Oh,
that
yes, part of the water budget. Yeah.
for the water budget.
Because
Okay.
that would contribute. That would
No?
contribute to
I
what?
would say no.
No.
Because, okay, hold. Wait, Walter, can I beg your pardon? And
You
defer
don't
with
have to
you?
beg my pardon. You just
I'll
tell
beg
me
your
I'm
pardon.
wrong.
I'll insist on begging your pardon and defer with you on this. So mulch is on top of the surface.
Yeah.
Yes.
Regardless of whether it attracts moisture or not. Right? That
Right.
depends on saturation level and the ability of the material to expand itself. Right? So it's about the surface level.
Yeah.
The entire root system on mycorrhizae is under the root.
Right.
Right? Yes, mulch might help with cooling and evapotranspiration.
Yeah.
Right? But however, it's not providing any water to the plant.
That's what
Maybe-
that was my
No,
question.
Actually, no, I would say.
Even if it's condensing on it.
Yeah, but okay, but Paulie, I think you've got to look at the system. Okay, first of all, the mulch attracts water, right? At the moment it's in the mulch. Then you've got the next question, how much water may wick from the mulch into the soil?
Correct. That's
Is
right.
there a
Yeah.
mulch-soil connectivity?
Yeah.
If there is, and that's why that's why we push the seed into the soil, to get the seed-soil connectivity.
Right.
If it's a perched mulch, you're right. If there's a good connectivity,
Yeah.
then we have to factor that in.
Personal experience of having done this in my farm, and having tested good moisture levels in the tuber plantation setups,
Yeah.
right, over a period of 6 months,
Right?
I can guarantee you either wood chips,
Yeah.
straw,
Yeah.
right, and as well as green.
Yeah.
None of those mulches actually bring water back into the soil.
Okay. And if that's
Oh.
I'm not seeing.
Anything else I don't know, but these
Yeah.
three I have
Ah,
numbers
yeah.
to back that up.
Yeah, and we don't question. That's the point. That's the information we need. Is there any wicking from the mulch to the soil?
Yeah.
If the evidence no, then hey, thank you. We've got the result, right?
So
Let's
therefore,
do the field trials again.
so therefore, this condensation of water on the mulch may be cooling the
Yes.
area.
If it evaporates and it's cooling, right? So then basically
So
it's
helping
mainly
to-
contributing to number 6.
It's helping for more condensation.
What I've experienced is this. My logic is so far.
Yeah.
Right? In the very same way as the morning dew, right? As soon as the sun comes out, in the first 10,
Gone.
15
Yeah.
minutes, it's gone.
Yeah.
The same happens with the mulch,
Ah.
but it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
before noon, by 11:30, it's gone.
Gone.
Right? Because it's if you 1 kilo of mulch, depending on the quality of mulch, can be either be small or
Yeah.
be much larger surface area.
Yeah.
And it takes a little bit longer to evaporate.
Mm-hmm.
So back in Rajasthan, where my farm is, so we don't have that kind of humidity in the air to attract 4 liters of atmospheric water on the mulch.
Right.
It may be much less. So we need to maybe do field trials, but my experience
Yeah,
has
yeah,
been this
yeah.
so far.
So we have to establish the connection, whether there is a wicking effect of the condensation on the mulch. But the dew condensing on the leaf, that's a separate process.
Yes,
That's the philosphere acting and
0.5.
stomata. Yeah.
That's stomatal intake.
That's stomatal.
Stomatal intake.
That's right.
If
This
any
is a wicking effect.
Yes, and so this is why we spray. When we spray pesticides and fertilizers on top of the leaf, right, that's a stomatal intake. So if the plant is dehydrated and there's a stomatal water application, the plant will automatically take it in the same way that we absorb water in the skin.
Yeah.
It's the same process.
When I was my first year as the Special Chief Secretary Agriculture, we had a drought. So I asked my university, Krida, what do we do? So they said 3% urea solution should be sprayed on the leaf. Huh?
Good idea. Good idea.
So that was my one of the first actions as Special Chief Secretary Agriculture, asking everybody to spray urea on the leaf. And then they also said potassium nitrate for some reason.
Both are salts.
Huh?
Salt.
Salt. So
We had
is it making the leaves more hygroscopic? Is that the huh?
Yes.
Maybe potassium nitrate is not as harmful. I don't know about urea solution. Huh?
Urea is harmful, sir.
Harmful. Yeah.
I don't know how that recommendation,
I know, huh? It's their standard recommendation.
but it softens the leaves,
Huh.
and then they will think that leaves which is softened may attract moisture.
Yes.
For the flowering, after 21 days of germination for the groundnut, they give 10 kg of ammonia mixed in water and spray it.
Oh.
So the flowering will come at a time, so that the harvest is uniform.
Okay. Can you think about it and then, each one, how do we do this?
Maybe I feel that finally few pot experiments and we have to
No, think about it.
yeah. Yes. Few field experiments are also good, sir.
No, that's right. Maybe in Guntur itself you can do or each RC can do in their
One few varieties, in varieties, really good.
So where would you do the lab experiments?
Lab experiment Guntur.
Guntur
Yeah.
lab. Well, you secured a partnership with them in the end, or you're not in the end?
The KVK,
Or
you
last
see,
time
you
you
do
were-
one thing. You go